Broadcasting live from the mixed-up world of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Bobtastic, and joining me today on commentary is Edium. Edium, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Looking forward to this match. We got Clown Parade, kind of retired, represented by Shareen and SuperNinTaylor. And this is going to be an Ambrosia seed. So, do you want to explain Ambrosia a little bit?
Sure. It's a pretty interesting mode when you think about it. Basically, took some settings that were kind of like tucked away there in the customizer and kind of made a real interesting mode out of it. So first thing you'll notice is that it's a standard mode seed, meaning you'll start from the uncle or from Link's house. And the other thing you'll notice is that the uncle is going to tell you where the boots are. So, for people who are fans of going fast, you will at least have that knowledge. Now, if it's like, Turtle Rock, well, we're going to be a while, aren't we?
Or Ganon's Tower.
Yeah. The other thing, it is still 7-7 defeat Ganon. So 7 crystals and so on. The other thing about this is all of the bosses cannot have a dungeon item. So they have to have some sort of item, like that's not a key, a map, a compass, something actually potentially useful. And so one of the main tenets of Ambrosia is try not to dip a dungeon if you can't beat it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there's no guarantee the bosses will have anything useful. Could just be rupees or something.
Though there is this, there is sort of the opposite thing on certain dungeons, like say Skull Woods. Like Skull Woods only has the one item out front, so you can, check that real quick, and if you find it, just get out, and it doesn't really hurt you. Anyways, we are now underway. Shareen and SuperNinTaylor, we have learned that the boots are in the Dark World, which that does contain all of Dark Death Mountain as well. So, who knows with that mess?
Yeah, there's a lot of locations I can refer to. Early map check there, that looked like a pendant on desert, and crystals with the other two.
I don't think it was the green pendant, but don't hold me to it.
And Uncle just with 10 arrows for us. So
I didn't mention this was a assured sword seed, or start with sword seed essentially. So you have a sword from the get-go here.
Yeah, that's one of the new changes in this version of the randomizer is that assured sword means you actually start with a sword. You don't get it from Uncle.
And one of the interesting things is, even though you start with a sword, the game will not let you use the sword until you have talked to your uncle.
Yeah, it's just one of the little quirks of this mode that can take beginners by surprise. We did also see a 300 rupee drop there by the uncle in the chest there. So that's really nice to have all that money early on. Gives us everything we need for Kakariko and a head start on that Zora money.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so just a piece of heart in the next chest, so, no actual progression, but we expect a pretty, pedestrian standard opening here. Now, a lot of people like a standard opening because it removes the question of when do I go to escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. On the flip side, though, you do run into situations where you end up having to orphan the back of escape because you can't find any bombs to blow open the wall.
And right now, we are completely without bombs, so...
So there's two sets of enemies in Escape that you can get drops from. One set is the guards and the snakes, and then the other set is the rats. So you'll see runners kill some guards or some snakes to try to find the information about whether they're going to get any bomb drops. And they'll probably kill some rats towards the end of the escape as well.
Yep. You really only have to get a maximum of a couple of drops before you know for sure what pool you're in.
Yeah.
But the fact that those drop pools are separate and there's two pools that contain bombs fairly reliably. Well, I think there might be 3 pools that contain bombs, and one of them is just like bombs all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so the odds that you don't get bombs somewhere in Escape are fairly low.
Yeah, but it can happen.
And of course, in the vanilla game, it is set up such that you will not get bombs in Escape.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, we're now back into the dark section of Escape. We get a free light cone here because it's standard mode, even though we don't have the lamp. SuperNinTaylor not gonna bother killing any snakes there. He must have already, I must have already determined that prize pack was the rupee prize pack.
And speaking of rupees, there's one of our beautiful single rupees in the dark cross chest, and we've got the magic pool on the rats. So again, no magic in that pool, or I mean, no magic, no bombs in that pool. Words are hard.
So that is kind of one of the things I like about this prize pool. It makes it a lot less likely that you have a situation where one runner gets a bomb and the other doesn't, and that kind of blows open the whole race.
And I think, ultimately, that was one of the main considerations they made when they went back to sort of the vanilla-ish prize packs.
Alright, SuperNinTaylor out of Escape at about 5:41, and we get a hook shot in Sanctuary.
Whoa! Okay. So Shareen is literally behind by a map check, because that's the only thing he did. Both of them had excellent execution throughout Escape.
Both runners
runners were tempted to use the hook shot to get to that sign, and both of them had trouble.
And both of them getting a red rupee drop from an enemy.
Alright, so it looks like SuperNinTaylor is gonna check the tree pull and might head to oh, Shareen! Oh, Shareen gets a bomb drop from the crow there, and then it gets stuck in the wall.
Yeah, that was rude. But it doesn't matter because we got money for days, and we can just go buy bombs.
I believe that, speaking of money for days, I believe that was also what was on the lumberjack ledge for SuperNinTaylor. It's like, okay, now you drop nothing, sure. Oh, I guess the 20 rupees was the stun drop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, so Shareen is just gonna sort of bite the bullet and head down toward the shop to buy some bombs, and he gets some in the back of the tavern, because that is how this goes.
That's always nice. So he can save his money for now. He may still end up buying bombs if he doesn't find any more.
Yeah, I would buy some on the way out of town if I was going to go check, say, the race game. There's a glove, so Back of Escape is now live. I mean, it was technically live to begin with, but now it's way easier.
Yeah. Ball vendor just 20 rupees. And we got a Master Sword in Blind's Hut.
Additional bombs there in Blind's Hut as well, so Shareen won't have to buy them immediately.
And more bombs in the well.
And more bombs, good lord.
And a red boomerang.
Alright, so between the two of these runners, we've basically seen the entirety of Kakariko proper, and the only things to write home about are the sword and the glove. And if you're really a fan of the red boomerang, that. Every ambrosia seed is an aga seed? Maybe.
Yeah, Aga definitely a little more likely in Ambrosia, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, well, starting with a sword, it just becomes, significantly more likely. Shareen not going to check the South Kakariko area, instead going to Back of Escape, it looks like.
Yeah, I see some runners do this. It is a bit of a slow check, but I don't know. I find it a bit questionable to put off Sphere 1 checks like that.
I think maybe he's just hoping to get over there with the boots so that he can get the library done.
Yeah, maybe. Okay,
Well,
not much Back of Escape, just a little extra cash.
All right, now SuperNinTaylor will be checking the South Kakariko checks. Just 20 rupees on the library, and we'll get to see what the race game has. I imagine, yeah, he's just going to check it as Shareen heads south. Race
Nothing
game,
there.
just a piece of heart, so that's going to work out for Shareen.
Alright, we're into the dam. We can do this in one screen transition because we got that hook shot to clip through that block there.
Yeah, the hook shot, of course, allowing for a slightly strange glitch there, thanks to Japanese 1.0. Oh, hello, we've got a Kana Samaria at the dam, the sunken treasure location, and Shareen, despite skipping South Kakariko, is going to go for Agina's Cave.
Yeah, this is a very meta play, it seems like. I'm not sure if he maybe just thinks that SuperNinTaylor will skip this and he wants to try to get an advantage here.
I mean, I feel like the odds are about 50-50. I do this most of the time. And
right.
That's just a piece of heart. They can't all be winners. Oh, SuperNinTaylor had a little trouble there.
Alright, Shareen, and now heading over to Mini Moldorm Cave. And SuperNinTaylor also heading that direction. sword beams make this cave nice and easy.
Whoa, we got gloves. 4 days.
Alright, so that is 2/3 of our Dark World access. We just need to find a Moon Pearl. And that also kind of kills the Agate Dream, since we've already seen the Lumberjack. Agate could still be logically required to get to East Dark World, but there are glitches that you can do to get around that.
Yeah. The only thing that makes it that would make it potentially difficult would be if the Agate Tower, or if the hammer was at the Pyramid Ferry, and even then you can potentially get around it with some shenanigans.
Yeah, there is a bomb dupe glitch that'll let you get around that, but it also requires the flippers.
Well, there's that pearl we were talking about.
Alright, so that's our Dark World access.
And so I imagine these runners will be heading for the Dark World ASAP. Some people, upon finding that pearl, would try to do the fake flippers because, you know, that gives you access to the waterfall cave there. But given the fact that you know that the boots are in the Dark World, I kind of feel like heading to the Dark World as soon as you can is a good play.
Yeah, definitely, and looks like both runners agree with you. And here's our map check. We got a pendant Turtle Rock and green pendant at School Woods and 5-6 crystals.
Actual
at Mire
vanilla
and
5-6 crystals.
Yeah.
5 at Ice, 6 at Mire. Interesting, SuperNinTaylor going for Death Mountain here, which again is a reasonable play. You've got the hook shot, and you can check a Paradox Cave.
Yeah, we can check all of East Death Mountain pretty much. So I actually like this play a lot. But there's our boots in C-shaped house, so that was quick.
Yep. No real big search for those. All right, so Shareen is diving Thieves Town without the hammer and does find the key. So, gotta hope there's nothing in that big chest if you're rooting for Shareen here.
Yeah, sometimes runners will just check the first 4 of Thieves Town and then come back later. But we'll see what Shareen opts to do, as we see just red rupee there inside Spec Rock. Oh, but there's a tempered sword there on top, so we'll need the mirror to get that.
Luckily, we will get the mirror at some point in this seed, and so even if you don't get it particularly early, you can at least count on having that tempered sword before you get to Ganon's Tower. And Shareen is taking the death here.
Yeah, I believe we didn't see any items in the front of Thieves Town, so all 4 items are in the back. So that's
he'd
probably
be guaranteed to orphan an item without the hammer.
Yeah.
Now, the dumb thing is, the hammer could be in one of those locations, but it's not. It's in Paradox Cave.
Yeah. So both runners finding something important. And SuperNinTaylor will be able to just run over and do Hera now with that hammer.
Oh yeah. And I would not be terribly surprised to see the mirror in and or around Hera.
Alright, Shareen now taking a turn of the dig game and gets blue mail. Not bad.
Yep, I certainly won't turn it down when it's handed to me directly in front. I probably wouldn't turn it down if it's way out of the way past, AGA 1. No, I'm kidding.
And Shareen is going to grab the blacksmith. As SuperNinTaylor does head into Hera. Gets a big key, so he doesn't have to worry about doing the basement. Well, just yet, anyway.
Yeah, we don't know if there's an item in the basement. The big
It's definitely
key
a lot
being there. Yeah.
I was going to say it's a lot less likely in Ambrosia just because one of the items in Hera has to be on the boss.
That is true. Alright, so SuperNinTaylor is setting up for the Hera pot. And this is using a setup that's slightly different than I'm used to.
Not able to get it on the first try. Meanwhile, we did see on Shareen's side, we got the Bombos medallion out of Hype Cave. Not much else in there, though.
I think he's placing the bomb in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think you want your front end. No, I guess I'm wrong.
Alright, he gets it now. Terrapot's one of those tricks where it saves time if you can get it on the first try. But if it takes you multiple tries to do it, it's usually not worth doing. And there's a fire rod.
Wow. Well, that makes Hera pretty great.
Yeah, for sure.
Not only is there nothing in the basement, but now you can just skip right to the boss. Ambrosia is fun, y'all.
And a fun thing about this seed is that the fire rod might not even be required. We got Skullwoods and Turtle Rock both pendants.
Oh yeah, and Bombos is available from Hype Cave.
And there's our first bottle off of Moldorm as SuperNinTaylor grabs the first crystal of the match.
There we go. Alright, Shareen. Bonk Rot's King's Tomb looks like.
Oh, he hasn't checked Lumberjack Ledge. Or he's going up the mountain. Maybe both. Meanwhile, we're going to see Spiral Cave here from SuperNinTaylor. No boots, so this is going to take a while.
So the fire rod, if you need to do right side GT, is logically required. You can get around it with some shenanigans involving the lamp. Hello.
That's a bow.
There's a bow in Spiral Cave.
So Mountain turning up with lots of nice items today. And
so my guess is there's a lamp over in the eastern area that would put all this in logic.
Yeah, probably. That lamp's got to be somewhere. Or it could be a flute as well. And that flute's going to be required, so they are going to want to keep all that logic in mind. Oh, Shareen actually just saving the old man. Going to grab that save and quit point and come back later.
I think maybe now he's doing King's Tomb.
Yeah, that would make sense. Just some love in Super Bunny Cave. And just a blue boomerang there as SuperNinTaylor gets his Dark Old map check in. And it is Bombos for Turtle Rock. So we are just an ice route away from being able to full clear Turtle Rock.
Gross. Looks like Shareen is trying to stay in logic here. He's going to Eastern.
Interesting. Hopefully he doesn't actually dip into Eastern without that bow. And in Sash's closet we find nothing.
And he's not going to Eastern either. He's just checking the back of the closet. And now he's going to the mountain. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe he wants to try to find some extra items to make Death Mountain a little nicer, such as the hammer or a fire source. And little does he know he's going to find both of them on the mountain.
Sick kid, just a big 20 today, so that bottle turning out to not be super important. Now, speaking of super important, I think SuperNinTaylor will probably be checking Thieves Town here in its entirety. Could also make the play into Skull Woods with that fire rod.
Yeah. Now with it being a green pendant, there's guaranteed to be 2 items on Mothula, basically, as Shareen finds the hammer.
Now, the interesting thing to see will be if Shareen decides to dip Turtle Rock.
Yeah, well, he's not going to have the mirror, so he won't really be able to open it unless he goes through the Turtle Rock portal.
I mean, I basically always go through the Turtle Rock portal unless I can't, so
That's true.
who knows?
Alright, I need to go get a glass of water. I'll be right back.
Knock yourself right out. Both runners entering a dungeon at the same time, just a slightly different one, as SuperNinTaylor prepares to view the glory of the 0-item Thieves Town front. Ooh, the select buffer on the boots setup there. I never considered that.
Alright, I am back and adequately hydrated.
Excellent. You should have definitely consumed at least 4 ounces of water at this point to maintain optimum hydration levels. Anyway.
Okay. Shareen getting mold arm down.
All right, so SuperNinTaylor will finally show us the first item in Thieves Town, which is just a big 20. And Shareen will be getting the bow out of Spiral Cave.
Yeah, some runners will skip Spiral Cave in this situation. So it's a good thing both runners are not skipping it, because that bow is most likely going to be important.
Look, menuing is hard.
Oh, there's a
Okay.
lamp.
So that is the in-logic lamp.
And what's in the Thieves Town big chest? The other bow,
The
alright.
other bow.
Alright, early silvers are nice. That's a fantastic weapon against a lot of enemies and bosses.
Depending on how things go, Shareen may or may not even pick that up.
I'm sure he'll pick it up. He's got the hammer now, so he'll be back to Thieves Town pretty soon.
I mean, if he decides to go to, like, Pod Eastern and literal go mode is in there, then I don't know. But
Yeah, it's definitely possible you have the rare go mode Thieves Town. As SuperNinTaylor finishes offline nicely, getting that second crystal.
Alright, SuperNinTaylor will be picking up the blue mail here from the digging game.
And it looks like Shareen is going to take that bow and go straight to Eastern Palace.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, we won't have that lamp, so that might slow him down a little, although he does have the fire rod, so we can just use that to light the torches in the back.
Yeah. And of course, new with version 31, for those of you who haven't seen this, that's actually in logic for the advanced logic, which is what gets used in these here tournaments.
Sure is. So SuperNinTaylor not going to pick up the blacksmith, so this makes me believe he's headed straight for Pod. Well, he's going to stop at Hype Cave first, of course.
Right. So going to Eastern first is likely the play, just because there's no guarantee that you get the mirror in Pod.
Yeah. Although if you do find the mirror in Pod, it's always nice.
I mean, Hype Cave had Bombos, and for all we know, Meyer could require that as well.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always the possibility you have to go into Turtle Rock.
It sure is. There's a mushroom in the eastern big chest. So I think that was 2 items, meaning we can skip the big key chest and just go straight to the boss.
Seems good.
SuperNinTaylor now in the pod. We got a key in the first chest. Shareen doesn't have those silvers yet, so gonna have to use most of his arrows on this fight. Alright, 2 fetch quests inside of
Eastern Palace of Fetch Quests. And Shareen will be going to check that shovel.
Yeah, makes sense. Can maybe route this on his way to go do Thieves Town. Gets a nice heart refill there.
Oh, we're doing fake powder, it looks like.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is an option. No, he's not going to do that.
No, I mean, I think he is.
And SuperNinTaylor getting that nice clip there through the blocks. Saves a few seconds.
Okay,
there.
maybe
you don't
not.
have to hit the switch.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, fake powder is one of those glitches that doesn't pay off often, but if you have a chance to do it, it's not necessarily a bad idea, especially if you're trying to maybe get a advantage on your opponent who might not do it.
I guess he's going for Thieves Town.
Yeah, this makes sense. Going for those full clearable crystals.
Maybe he's trying to get back in logic because he's still looking for that flute or whatnot. So Shareen has done the blacksmith already. We could do Peg Cave and Purple Chest.
Yeah, definitely possibilities. So nothing out of pod so far, looks like, besides that red mail. And I don't know why SuperNinTaylor just hit that switch. I guess muscle memory.
Me neither.
And we're off to Helmasaur.
And, of course, the Ambrosia preset requires that there be some sort of item on Helmosaur, so you'll always be in suspense until the end of the dungeon.
Yeah. So let's see, where are we likely to go after this? I mean, there's School Woods. There's probably, there's Purple Chest. There's, I don't know what other overworld checks are missing. I'm sure there's a few. And Ice Palace is an interesting option, although I don't like it so much with Skullwoods being a crystal, or with Swamp being a crystal, because we do need to find those flippers, so there's no point in sequence breaking them really. Yeah, 1 silver arrow is all it takes to finish off Helmosaur. And just 50 bucks there, so pod pretty much empty.
All right. So, SuperNinTaylor has the 3rd crystal. Shareen has a 3rd crystal.
And SuperNinTaylor racing back to Bonk Rocks. Okay, hasn't done this yet. Oh yeah, we got hammer pegs here. Nothing inside there. And Shareen gonna grab that purple chest.
Quick save and quit. Over to his house, and then we'll just head down to Mr. Lockpick himself.
Yeah, it looks like SuperNinTaylor gonna go to Eastern, I guess, taking an interesting route to get there.
Yeah, I mean, this was just motivated by the fact that he just did King's Tomb Bonk Rocks, but yeah.
And Purple Chest not paying out with anything there. String gonna head back into the Dark World, probably gonna make his way towards Pod.
That seems reasonable. Did SuperNinTaylor bother checking the pyramid while he was at it?
No, we haven't seen that check. Looks like
Shareen is going to.
Yeah. Nothing there. Right, Turtle Rock, that's an option.
Yeah, so we got Turtle Rock, we've got Skull Woods. Plenty of other dumb things.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to lean towards maybe just doing Ice Palace. We got that Cane of Samaria. We got Bombos and Fire Rods, so there's not really much that's going to make Ice Palace a lot faster. So may as well knock it out of the way. Although with no flute, it is a bit of a hike to get down to that fake flipper spot. Although they could also ancilla fake flipper with the bow.
And of course, the whole flute. You could have the flute in Ice Palace, so that could help. But you know, there's nothing that says you have to go into Ice Palace right now, but it certainly wouldn't hurt anything because you need to anyway. And the new glitches make it basically no time loss to full clear Ice Palace. Which is kind of weird.
Pretty much. Yeah, the only check that's really out of the way is Ice Tea Room. But if you get the first two items quickly, you can even just skip that anyway.
When has Ice Tea ever not had something, though?
Alright. Armos Knights for SuperNinTaylor should be pretty trivial with that silver arrows. And that is 4 crystals for SuperNinTaylor. So, yeah, 45 minutes, 4 crystals. That's a pretty solid collection, or I was going to say collection rate. Crystal rate.
All right, SuperNinTaylor has finished off Eastern for the 4th crystal, and as you guys were saying, well, let's see what he does. Looks like he's going to go use that shovel he just got.
Yeah.
They got none of the items out of Skull. No one has touched Skull Woods. Alright, so what SuperNinTaylor's doing here...
He's going to check the mushroom. Gonna fake flipper over through this whirlpool. Could potentially run up to Zora after this. Zora's been in Logic for quite a while, no one's been there. Alright, nothing on the mushroom.
Interesting that he saves and quits there, even though the only things he's done is check the dig game. So he could have actually saved the mushroom there.
Yeah.
Or not the dig game, but the dig spot.
So both players passing up on any opportunity to do a fake powder. And SuperNinTaylor looks to be heading straight for Skull Woods now. So there are 2 items in Skull Woods plus 1 item on that green pendant.
So Shareen checked Pyramid, but did not check Catfish. And
SuperNinTaylor, oh look,
Flippers in Skull Woods. What is
Yeah, that's
this,
pretty
V26?
I'd almost consider noping out and skipping Mothula here, but SuperNinTaylor's going to go for it. Because we got Ice Palace now fully in logic. And of course we got lots of flipper checks to do. No one's done any fake flippering.
Mm-hmm. Now, we are still missing for Go mode the flute and the mirror. Those are the two main items we're missing.
Yeah, plus whatever medallion Mr. Meyer has.
Right. Which, of course, we won't know until we find that flute. So, again, similar situation.
There's the red mail for Shareen, as SuperNinTaylor is dropping into Mothula.
So, the Ambrosia mode means it's a standard start. You get the hint for boots. You start with a sword, and all the bosses have a non-dungeon item. So Shareen is now going to turn in that mushroom.
And SuperNinTaylor dispatches Mothula and is rewarded with a red potion.
And a
But
green
that green
pendant.
pendant could still have something.
The synced save and quit. Or actually, I don't think Shareen saved. I think you reset.
I think he saved. Anyway, he's headed back up the mountain. He's going to Turtle Rock.
Interesting. Now that's
Alright.
a little unfortunate because we know where the flippers are.
Yeah, but there could still be something in here.
Yeah. Could definitely have a flute or a mirror or a medallion or something necessary in Turtle Rock.
A green pendant is useless. And SuperNinTaylor taking the long way out of Eastern. And I think he's probably going to go do flipper checks now.
Seems reasonable. He may just do Ice Palace first, depending on how he's feeling.
Looks like a bit indecisive there. Nothing on the island.
Yeah, so he's intending on doing Ice Palace because he has to do Ice Palace, and then afterwards, you know, if he still doesn't have everything he needs, he can always mirror and do the flipper checks. All right, welcome to Turtle Rock, and welcome to Ice Palace. Turtle Rock also tending to be front-loaded with some keys. A little bit like Pod.
Yeah, most of the items tend to show up on Laser Bridge.
Mirroring and save and quitting are the same thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, mirror is going to be in Ice Palace, so just saying.
Yeah.
No.
SuperNinTaylor now opening or flipping the switch to set up this icebreaker glitch.
That was odd. Okay.
And first item in ice, just a set of bombs. SuperNinTaylor getting mauled by those chain chomps a bit, or Shareen rather.
SuperNinTaylor doing some bomb jumping. Nice palace. It's a setup I haven't quite seen in that particular spot, but
It works.
Ice-T has a whole lot of nothing.
The last item is going to be in the big chest here, or second item rather, and it's just a heart piece.
Alright, heading to Cold Stare. While Shareen proceeds to the rest of Turtle Rock.
Finds a cape.
So
that's going to open up a couple of locations. I don't think anyone's checked Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, nobody's seen Bumper Ledge, and Spike Cave is now in Logic as well.
Yeah, so that could be the progression. There's an Ether Medallion off of Cold Stare, and SuperNinTaylor doing a nice job there of that Master Sword Cold Stare.
Yeah, real nice. And of course, like you said, Ether could be a thing. SuperNinTaylor is now mirroring to the light world. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the flute on Laser Bridge.
Okay, that's definitely progression.
The answer is always Laser Bridge.
So not really a big deal for SuperNinTaylor because if he gets to Turtle Rock soon, he's got Ice Palace finished. So Shareen is going to have to do that at some point, and he is going to have to go up to Skull Woods for those flippers eventually.
I do feel like Shareen is probably going to see... Shareen is probably going to check the Meyer medallion like ASAP here.
Yeah, that's the last bit of information we need to know for what items are left to find. SuperNinTaylor, meanwhile, going to do some of these flipper checks, skipping Hobo, it looks like, or maybe saving
No, he
that
already
for
went.
last. Oh,
He
he
went
did
to
Hobo, okay. Hey, Meyer requires, I think that was Ether. It was a very fast check, but it looks like Ether.
All right, so once he...
Oh, was that powder on the...
I believe it was.
Okay, nothing in Meyer's shed. And what does Zora got for us? Usual average scam of 20 rupees there.
I think this is a Spike Cave check.
Yeah, I think Shareen wants to push that cape. So I can't blame him for that.
Nobody fake powdered. And SuperNinTaylor does look to be doing the T-Rock play here.
Alright, nothing in Spike Cave.
And a plate of 3 looks like Shareen might be going to Skull Woods.
Yeah, Schoolwoods and maybe check Bumper Ledge as well.
Yeah,
And
the bumper ledge is live here.
maybe even run over to Catfish potentially. Although, no, he's heading southward.
I think maybe bumper ledge first because he said he was trying to push that cape.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Yeah, nothing there. So the cape, just a red herring.
I mean, it is red,
Yeah.
like you do.
Right, here's the Schoolwoods play. Let's see if Shareen... Yeah, he's going to do front first. So he's going to get those flippers right away. Let's see what he decides to do.
He might just nope out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And
he
he
hits save and play.
noping right out. All right, if this isn't a nice palace play, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that would make sense. So, Shareen going to get that Ether Medallion from Ice Palace. Yeah, he's headed straight there. And looks like probably he'll get that Ether Medallion, and I imagine head straight to Meyer after that.
Nobody fake powdered anything. And Shareen did check the purple chest, so that was nothing. 10 arrows. There are some one-off locations that are still live. Catfish being one of them. Magic Bat. But, I mean, Misery Mire itself is still live as well, and I think Shareen will probably head directly there after beating Cold Stare. What do you think?
Yeah, I think actually we're going to see both these runners in Meyer pretty close to the same time. Because I can't imagine SuperNinTaylor will be doing anything else once he finds that flute. Alright, Shareen gonna set up the icebreaker glitch now. And gets it.
I am super confused. Anyway.
Yeah, chat is being distracting. I'm just going to ignore chat for a bit. Alright. SuperNinTaylor in the crystal roller room, so not very far from that flute. Shareen checking iced tea. So yeah, it's looking like a pretty tight race, and I wonder if that decision to skip Mothula is going to pay off for Shareen here. Because that's really the biggest difference between these two runners at this point.
Yeah, looks like it. I mean, you beat Cold Stare here, you get Ether, you go to Meyer, and you hope that the mirror's there. You know what you don't want to see there?
What?
Book.
Book. Yes, that would be super annoying. Shareen's stopping off at this rarely seen supply room here. Gonna grab a bit of magic and some extra health. Alright, there's the flute for SNT.
Yeah, so Shareen could theoretically use Fire Rod strats here to break Cold Stare's shell, but he has to use the sword beams that he picked up as well. Now he's having to use his magic because he ran out, and then he's just blowing bombos even though he's got like 1 or 2 Fire Rod hits left. That's a thing.
Interesting strats there.
Shareen might be a little bit unsettled due to basically last locationing them flippers.
Yeah, he gets it done though. And there's the flute activation for SNT.
Looks like SuperNinTaylor was having a little bit of trouble deciding what he wanted to do. He is going to check the desert ledge, so he sees 50 rupees there. And if SuperNinTaylor decides to check the Mire shed, then we'll probably be entering Mire at almost exactly the same time.
Yeah.
No, NinTaylor doesn't have any magic.
Oh no. He should have a green potion though. I think. Yeah, he's got green.
Oh. What is Shareen about to do here? Ain't got time for no bird.
Yeah, if it's a daily race or something not that important, I can see the bird toss. But this is a very important match. You do not want to lose because of climbing around.
That was a really solid mire too from Shareen, and also solid from SuperNinTaylor. Virtually the same amount of time spent in there.
Runners opting to do the first two checks in opposite orders.
Both of them turning out to not be super important. The idea being that a key at this point is roughly the same amount of useful as the map.
Yeah. Shareen having exactly enough magic to light those torches with the fire rod. And there's our first item, a heart container, so we just need to find the big key now and head straight to Vitreous.
And a little bit of a metagame call here in that since that wasn't a small key, it kind of changes the odds that the big key is vanilla. It doesn't rule it out, it just changes the odds.
Yeah.
Doesn't take too long to check the only other two places the big key can be.
And there it is.
Well, okay, yeah, beforehand the odds aren't changed, but given the knowledge, it's a Bayesian thing. It's the Monty Hall problem. I'm not going into it.
I think I have to agree with you on this one.
You're right. If it was really Bayesian, things would have exploded.
And Shareen getting off that, what do you call it? Glitch? Spooky thing?
Oops.
Those words, yeah. And SuperNinTaylor not getting spooky. Alright, we're on to Vitreous. Silver Arrow's gonna make this fight a joke.
Green did have a great mire. That was some execution right there.
Yeah,
And
so nothing is.
Yep. Garbo.
So, Pyramid Fairy?
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy is the last remaining item dense location. And to be fair, routing in Pyramid Fairy with Catfish is not a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
I like going Pyramid Fairy here. Yeah, Magic Bat is the other possibility. Shareen has not done any of the flipper checks, though.
Oh, yeah. Alright,
He's
so
going to waste a bit of time doing this.
yeah, it makes sense to do these, but unfortunately we know it's not going to really pay out. SuperNinTaylor, meanwhile, is headed straight for Pyramid Fairy. And if it's not there, I imagine he's going to run up to Catfish.
Yep. And then, of course, that magic bat is the other possibility. And if
it's there, both runners are going to be wondering, hey, did my opponent fake powder?
Yeah. I mean, I would be, like, extra salty if it was there and I didn't fake powder.
Yeah. And SuperNinTaylor pulling off a nice bomb dupe there. But what do we got inside? It's the mirror.
Yep, there's our... And it looks like we're going to join SuperNinTaylor in this play, so yeah. Going to be about 45 seconds behind or so. Maybe a minute.
Yeah. And, oh, he's gonna... Okay. I thought he was gonna run up to Spec Rock and grab that Tempered Sword. But I guess he's deciding, no, I'll just do that after.
Do Swamp first, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to be seeing any checks at all here. We already know there's a Tempered Sword on Spec Rock, so no sense in looking for one.
Swamp Palace, of course, taps for black mana.
And there's a mirror for Shareen. Alright, so for those of you who have joined us a bit late, we are in Game 2 of the conference semifinals between Clown Parade and Rando Retired. Rando Retired with one game in hand already, and SuperNinTaylor with just a slight lead. Both runners have just hit go mode with that mirror and have just Swamp Palace left. This is a very, very close race. SuperNinTaylor with I'd say about a minute or so lead right now, and looking to pull Rando Retired into a commanding 2-0 lead in the series here. But
it's also a good go mode swamp that we're getting to do here, which is so great.
Yeah, go mode swamp feels nice.
Yeah, I guess Swamp Palace kind of qualifies as a watery grave. Anyways, enough Magic references. SuperNinTaylor doing the left side diver down setup.
Alright, SuperNinTaylor now up to Argus. Trying to go for some swag strats there, but not having the most success. Gets phase 1 Argus down with, I think that was 2 cycles. Ooh, missing a silver arrow, missing another one. 3rd time's the charm. And that's 7 crystals for SuperNinTaylor. So, Dr. Bob, if you want to take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower where you can find a potential big key. Put your numbers in chat where you think it's going to be, and we will recognize the winner at the end of this. We're going to be basing this on SuperNinTaylor's entrance into Ganon's Tower, and you have until he enters the tower on our screen to pick that out. And good luck to everybody. Meanwhile, Shareen is almost done with the Argus fight.
And SuperNinTaylor taking the slightly longer route to get to GT, but that's because he knows there's a tempered sword on that path.
Yeah. Normally you want to go over to Turtle Rock, but when you have a tempered sword on Spectacle Rock, you go for the tempered sword on Spectacle Rock. It is still anybody's race at this point. The GT big key could decide this, and execution of GT is definitely worth about a minute. So,
yeah, for sure. Of course, having silvers, lots of arrows, and a tempered sword is going to make it not too difficult, along with that red mail, of course. So I don't expect any real execution issues from either of these runners. I think it's mostly going to come down to that big key location and big key routing. All right, SuperNinTaylor into GT at about 1 hour, 20 and 50 seconds. Shareen also grabbing that tempered sword. SNT headed right first. Number 1 is a small key, and number 2, a heart container, and SuperNinTaylor is going to go right.
So a left-right play could make all the difference here. As SuperNinTaylor approaches checks 3 through 6.
And Shareen entering GT right about 122 flat. So that's about a minute and 10 seconds difference on the entry time. And nothing right. So Shareen can make up a lot of time here if he skips that compass room. And he is going left. Now this might be a DM strat, which means he might pick up the compass room. So both runners now almost room for room. There's a small key, and there's the big key. All right. So Shareen gonna catch up almost completely now to SuperNinTaylor, and this is crazy.
And that, I believe, is is chest number 9 for SuperNinTaylor, counting the torch. So congratulations to the first person to get that, which is possibly maybe. And that's their name. I wasn't holding that out for a sentence.
Wow, this is as close as it can get.
Oh my goodness. I asked him to make it good. Oh my goodness, so close.
So since we're this close, let's remind everyone a tie is considered within 2 seconds. So if they come within 2 seconds of each other, it'll be a tie, and what'll happen then is the runners will simply redo the race with the same modes. So they'll have another Ambrosia race with the same 2 runners.
Shareen does have silvers. He literally took the time to turn them off as he was going into the...
Yeah, he's turned them back on now. The only real reason to turn them off is because silvers do generate quite a bit of lag. So if you don't need them, then you can save a few frames.
Both runners with the 1 cycle land mow on silvers. And Shareen bonking into the door. SuperNinTaylor with a perfect Wizrobe 2 room. Shareen with slightly less perfect, but still.
Looks like SuperNinTaylor gaining a little bit of time on the torches room, but not much.
Oh my goodness. It is really hard for me to say anything because this is just so close.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I mean, Trolldorm could change the fight as well, so who the heck knows?
SuperNinTaylor having no problems there. Shareen,
unfortunately not getting the hit on that dash there like he wanted.
There's a red potion just for, well, just for the heck of it, although I don't think either of these runners can need it with red mail and 1,000,000 hearts.
Alright, time for some Geometry Wizard.
Yeah, in at the 45-second mark. Shareen in at the 51-second mark, so a 6-second difference right now. There's a double for SuperNinTaylor. And another double, that's going to do it.
Shareen getting robbed by 2 hits at the same time.
Yeah, I think Shareen took 1 extra cycle there on Ega 2. Alright. We got some bacon fats there. Bacon facts. Not bacon fats.
And SuperNinTaylor in good shape for the 1-in-1 cycle here.
SuperNinTaylor on phase 3. Shareen not getting the 1-in-1. And SuperNinTaylor on to phase 4, just needs 4 silver arrows. Doesn't get the torch glitch, but that's not a big deal. And this looks like a triple. It is. Get your
Gross.
GGs in chat for SuperNinTaylor, who's going to take this incredibly exciting race.
It is too early in the morning for anything this exciting. My goodness.
And SuperNinTaylor has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 55 seconds. Shareen right behind him. Get your GGs in chat for both of these runners. That was a crazy finish to that race. And Shareen finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 18 seconds. So, what is that? 23 seconds apart. What a race.
Okay. So, looks like they've both decided to come on in, so...
We got Shareen with us, and SuperNinTaylor is there as well. GG's, guys. What a crazy finish.
Yeah, GG, thank you.
So, SuperNinTaylor, you were ahead by about a minute going into GT.
Yeah.
But Shareen made up a lot of time there by going straight left. Was that a full left play, or were you going to go DM?
I was going to DM.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor went right first, so that you guys were almost perfectly in sync heading up GT. I think SuperNinTaylor just with slightly better execution up the gauntlet and on Ganon. But overall, just a crazy race.
I caught.
Sorry?
I was just gonna say, yeah, I caught the last 10 minutes of it, so I saw how close it was climbing the tower. So it was pretty hype. But,
yeah.
I'll have to watch back the rest of the race as well, though, later on.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. So I guess one big decision point in the race was when you got the flippers out of Skull Woods. SuperNinTaylor, you decided to continue on and do Mothula for the 2 items there, where Shareen noped out right after that. Do you guys want to explain maybe your thoughts on that decision?
Yeah, that was tough for me. I thought about leaving, but it's like I skipped Skullwoods the first time, then I had to go back there, and I just would have felt really bad if I had to go back a third time. So I was just like, I'm just gonna finish this. It's not gonna take long, and I don't know. I was just scared of having to make a third trip there. I thought I'd try to be a little bit more thorough, and I was running out of locations anyway.
Yeah.
So those flippers did open up more, but I was there. I was like, it shouldn't take too long to finish it.
Yeah, the only thing I had left was moth and catfish, and I was thinking, I didn't do a fake flipper early in the seed, so I have all that, and I felt a little bad not going to TR on my first trip. Also, so I just left. I usually in Ambrosia would go to the back first, so that was also inclining me to leave because I dipped in the front and got the flipper, so I knew the second item was on the boss, and I just felt like that was a good skip to make at that point in time.
Yeah.
There wasn't much that either of you were able to skip this seed. It was, other than Swamp.
Yeah. I was gonna say for a lot of last locations, I'm pretty happy with the 129. I mean, I didn't get the win, so I can't be too happy, but it was pretty quick for how many of those weird placements there were.
I'm guessing once you got Darkwold access, you probably started from Link's house and worked your way up to Thieves Town.
No, I didn't sequence break the mountain.
Oh, okay.
So I did mitts all the way down.
Yeah, because I started at Sanctuary. Yeah, I was gonna do that. I was gonna go to mitts, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a Death Mountain trip because I had so much stuff I could get there. So I kind of turned around. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the mountain first, which worked out because Hammer was there.
Yeah. I imagine Shareen's decision to go to Dark World there immediately was kind of influenced by the uncle's hint.
Yes.
A lot of it was, but there was also a few gaps I wanted to fill, right? So I wanted to go through and see what my logical mountain access. I also wanted to see if I could snag the boots because it meant I would be able to go patch up my library race gameplay, which I felt really good about my early routing as far as that was concerned. The mountain just had, so much, like, when I went to Eastern, I pushed off pod because I wanted to go follow the logic there, and once again, it was just a lamp sitting in the back of Thieves Town, so that was unfortunate also. I
Shout outs to
good
Thieves
about
Town having nothing in the front.
Yeah.
And that would have been, I would say, somewhat disastrous if you had actually gone for Thieves Town with no hammer there.
Yeah, you missed silvers.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I was going to point out earlier, because I did get the hammer. I went to the mountain first. Then I decided to do the Dark World stuff, and I was headed towards Thieves Town first. And as I was walking there, I thought about it. I was like, this is the wrong play. Like it said, boots are in Dark World. I should have started at Hype Cave and worked my way up for a better chance of getting to Thieves Town with the boots. So it's like, if I want to find the boots first, I'm going to have to skip Thieves Town. So it was kind of a bad play on my part, but it actually worked out in the end because it was in the C-shaped house. So we got a little bit lucky there. Bad routing, but it worked out. I think so, at least.
Did either of you ever consider sequence breaking the flippers into Ice Palace at any point?
Yeah, but I didn't have the flute, so I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I was just... Yeah, it's like, what if the flippers are my go mode? So
Yeah.
kind of feels bad to full clear a dungeon and then realize the thing you sequence broke was your go mode, like the flippers. That's the only reason I didn't do it.
Yeah. So with that, kind of ran retired. Gonna move into a commanding 2-0 lead. Shareen, what are you looking forward to for Clown Parade to get back into this series?
We need to clown a little bit, I guess. I don't know. This is we're playing a tough team. I mean, you in order to win, you gotta play well, and you also gotta hope your opponent doesn't play well. So it's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
You take it one game at a time. I think that's the whole league has been. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Right, I don't know. Do you have any more questions, Dr. Bob?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. Thanks everybody for watching, and thank you to you two for putting on a great show. Is there anything you guys would like to say /plug
Yeah.
let us know?
I had one thing that's killing me, and I made the read that I felt that if the mirror was in the flipper checks and I checked it right away, I would still have an option to win the game. Because, with the fake flipper having the mirror, it means all the mirror spots were empty, right? So I felt like if I did the flipper checks before Pyramid Fairy and found the mirror, I would still win. Whereas if I did it in reverse and it was at the flipper checks, I would lose. So clearly I was pretty close, because doing the flipper checks and going to Pyramid Fairy, I still had a decent shot to win it. But that routing decision, Pyramid Fairy or flipper checks at that point, I was very torn on where my opponent was, so that was a very tough decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of routing, actually, Shareen, earlier in the seed, you went up to the mountain, but then save and quit from the old man and did Sahasrarul's closet. What was your thinking there?
I already didn't sequence break the mountain early, and I already did my whole Outcast tour plus the Smith. I felt like, let's just check Asada's closet to make sure I'm not skipping a flute. And because I already have Bombos and Kane, and I can potentially even go to TR, let's see if we could find, a fire source, a mirror, something. Like I already missed the boat for sequence breaking the early mountain. So I wanted to cover my tracks on the other sphere ones. That's why I went to Saha's. I got the save and quit point just because the way I routed the boots checks, I did shovel into. I took the Smith South. I did library. I did race game. I turned in the Smith, and then I dashed up and did bonk rocks into lumberjack. So there was no reason not to save the old man at that point. I wasn't necessarily planning on going up the mountain at that point. I just felt like rescuing the old man because it was coming soon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I think with that, we can wrap things up here. I do want to take a moment to shout out to our tracker, Dark Diplomat, doing an excellent job for us today. And of course, my co-comm, Dr. Bobtastic. Always a pleasure
Yo.
to commentate with you.
Same to you, Idiom. Thank you once again for joining me. Once again, thank you all for watching this race. I had a good time, and if you didn't have a good time, what were you watching? So, once again, thank you all, and I'll just say I've been Dr. Bobtastic. You guys have anything else you want to wrap it up with? But I will see you all at a later occasion. Goodbye.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone. And I've been Atium.